Disco ball shoes, anyone? Disco ball purses? Picture frames? Candles? Lamps? Sure. Anything you can put a sticker on, you can discoify. It's a word. Pretty sure it's a word. This is the most like DIY designer video ever because it's sparkly and it's easy and anyone can do it. We are going to add disco mirror tiles to whatever accessory we damn feel like. Now, the idea originally hit me because I saw this fantastic video by a very talented girl named Lauren Quigley Official. She shared these epic disco balls that she used alcohol ink to like ombre rainbow, and they still were reflective like mirror, but they looked almost like stained glass. So cool and so creative. And all of a sudden I thought, what if we took this technique, but we applied it to our accessories? And that's exactly what we're gonna do. Before we get started, I wanna talk about the fact that I'm filming today and wearing zero foundation, zero concealer. It's very exciting. I've gone basically the last 2 weeks really without any makeup, and that is thanks to today's sponsor, Proven, the Tesla of skincares that I shared about a month ago with you guys. I was just starting the journey and I was kind of sharing the process. The most customized skincare, but the most simplified skincare. It's super cool. So basically you take this quiz and it's called the Skin Genome Quiz. There's 43 different factors it's gonna evaluate and ask you questions on. Everything from what your current skin is like to what your biggest concerns are, whether it's like anti-aging or pigmentation or acne or whatever it might be. And then it's gonna ask for details about where you live, right down to your zip code, because everything from the pollution in the air to the type of water, sun exposure, all of those things have a huge impact on your skin. And so it's going to account for all of these different factors when creating your completely one-of-a-kind skincare. It's gonna come with a cleanser, a daytime moisturizer with SPF, and a nighttime moisturizer. All of these are like treatments in and of itself. It is so simple. It's just those three and that's it. I take really good care of my skin, so I honestly didn't think I was gonna notice much of a difference, but in my mind, I was thinking, if it even maintains what I'm doing, that's a home run, because I'm using like 14 products in the morning and at night because I'm a little psycho and I sit there with my serums and my wands and like all the things. It not only maintained it, but my skin feels amazing. And I noticed it when the last 2 weeks, I kept not wanting to put foundation on because I felt like it was almost matting down like the glow. And I know that, I mean, it sounds crazy, but like my skin just felt like it was glowing. And so I honestly didn't want to put makeup on, and I have never been like that, like ever. So I gotta say, it's legit. And I really want you guys to give it a shot. So this is the discount code. You can click the link below. It's gonna give you guys 50% off. So do it. Simplify your routine. You can give your skin exactly what it needs by trying Proven Skincare's 3-step skincare system, totally custom for you. Okay, let's discoify everything in our house, because once you start, you cannot stop. All right, let's start with materials. So for the heels, I chose to get something where the strips across my foot were straight, meaning they don't change size, they don't change shape, they don't curve. That's just gonna make everything a lot easier because our tiles are square. So if we have straight edges, it's gonna be a lot easier than if we had something rounded like that. Even the purse, just the more straight squared off edges, the easier it is. Now here are the tiles. I got these small ones and then these larger ones. I will link both down below for you. And then I got alcohol inks. The two on the outsides are pearl and the one on the inside is plain. This is what it looks like. The bottom is plain and the top is pearl. I didn't like the way the pearl looked to me. It was just like cloudy, so I'm gonna use the regular when the time comes. For this pair though, I'm gonna use it just mirror tiles with no alcohol ink. Now I'm cutting it to size. You're just gonna wanna take your mirror, put it up to the space that you're applying it to, see how much you need, how wide it's gonna be, and then you can use an X-Acto knife to cut the paper backing, and the whole thing's gonna peel apart, so it's super simple. Now right here, we do have to create an angle. This is the only place we have to do it because where the strap meets the sole is a little angled. So I lined it up, I marked it, and with scissors, you're just gonna real quick, real strong, and boom, you're gonna cut right through it, no problem. These mirror tiles are super thin, so you can totally use a pair of scissors to do it. Now, to figure out the length and the other side, you wanna hold it, all the while hold it, maintain contact. That way you know everything's lined up. Now on this side, you're gonna mark it, and again, you're gonna cut it. Now you're gonna end up with two pieces that are angled on the right and the left that will line up perfectly with your sole. So start with one side first, lining it up, and you can see my thumb and my index finger. I'm basically making sure that I'm even, that I'm not accidentally going a little lower or a little higher. It's perfectly centered all along, all the way until this edge. Look how satisfying this is. You got, it's the most perfect fit. That's why when you're actually cutting it, you wanna make sure that you're holding it in place as you work your way and mark so that it's gonna be perfect. Again, same thing. I'm gonna take your mirror tiles, you're gonna cut it to the right width, you're gonna mark where you wanna cut it so that it lines up with your sole, you're gonna measure it, work your way around to the other side, peel and apply, and that's it. The 2 strips are done. This adhesive is super strong, and especially on something like plastic, it's gonna hold. Now here I was undecided. Do I wanna do the whole heel? Do I wanna do like a little block version? I wasn't super sure. What I decided was to start with just a smaller piece because I figured I could always add more and make a decision. After I did this one piece, I was like, wait a minute. Okay, wait, do I like it like this? Do I like it like that? And I actually really liked it like this. So I cut one more piece to patch in the inside because I forgot to do that. And I wanted to make sure 360 view, it just looked like a little mirrored block. I can always add more if I want, but I really liked the way that looked. So theoretically, those are done. Now let's move to these guys. Originally, I thought maybe I would do it the same here. I would cut it to size, then I would cut my angle for my sole, and I would just patch it in. The problem though is that it's not long enough to go all the way, and having a full sheet, I just knew was gonna be really hard to make it look clean. So then I thought like, ooh, what if I did like a little Adidas stripe, or I colored them, or I was just playing around with different ideas. I hated it naturally, but it did give me the idea that if I cut the mirror strips into single strips, I could more easily finagle how they work around that shoe. But you definitely wanna do any of the alcohol ink first. Do it first and then cut it. So you're gonna put some drops onto your mirror tiles and grab a makeup sponge. Dab it in, dab it in. One thing I will say is they don't blend as well as I wish they did. I kept trying to like blend it. It actually looks better on camera than it did in person. They don't blend very well. Another thing, some colors just don't work at all. Like the green barely showed up. So I mixed my own green by doing blue and yellow and kind of blending it in. And even there you can see it's a little bit faint. It works, but a little bit faint. So basically I did the entire thing here, sort of building out a kind of ombre rainbow. I tried to make a more seamless transition by adding more alcohol ink, and it almost lifted what I had previously put down. So this is the kind of thing where you're sort of just gonna wanna go for it and embrace any imperfections. You can't really blend it out as much as I'd like. Then you're just gonna cut these into individual strips. Now that I have individual strips, it's really easy for me to apply them and create the little patch that I'm gonna need to on the other side right there. Because all it is, it's a matter of like, I don't know, 1 or 2 little purple tiles that I can pick up one by one and pop them in. That is a lot easier than trying to have an entire sheet lay flat and be seamless and all of that. Another thing that was cool about this is the shoe gets more narrow towards the front of the foot. And so I needed less and less tiles. So I was able to just remove some yellow tiles. That way I always kept kind of the same amount of pink and purple on the side. And the yellow is the part that got more narrow. So it allows you to customize it too. You can just rip and tear and add each individual tile wherever you want it. It creates like a cool mosaic look, which actually reflects light. Really cool. Like how awesome is that? I can't wait for you guys to see it at the end. It's super cool. Okay, last one. This was a purse that was from an old DIY. You can see some like glue globs that were left on the purse from an old DIY. I'm just gonna use these big fat sheets and pop them on. One full sheet, when I centered it, was perfect to go top to bottom. It was only 2 tiles shy to go the full length, and that's an easy patch. You can see the seam in it a little bit, and that's because the mirror tiles aren't cut identically the same. So one sheet is good, but then when you grab the next sheet, sometimes the lines are just a bit off. Again, from far away, you don't even notice it. It's no big deal. Then I decided to use the skinny stuff or the smaller stuff for the edges. The mix of the 2 different size disco tiles I think looks really cool and really luxe. Beautiful, and I don't know, I'm obsessed. I can't wait for you to see it. It's addictive. Just a fair warning, you're gonna wanna do this to everything. I am going to model them for you so you can kind of see what they look like in the sun and in the sparkle. They're really special and really wonderful. If you guys liked this video, I hope that you'll share it with a friend, like it, subscribe to the channel if you're new. All those things really help the channel grow, and I'd really appreciate it because I love doing these videos. I love being here with you every week. So I hope you guys have a beautiful week, and I will see you next week, man. I love you. Mwah. Adios.